A sailor is tied to the mast of a merchant ship. His back is bare. The captain reads the charge out loud. The man spoke back. For that, 12 lashes. The captain's word is the only law on this ocean. There is no one above him to appeal to, and by the law of England, that is exactly how it is supposed to work. This man did not break the rules. The rules were built to break him. Somewhere over the horizon is another ship. It sails the same ocean, crewed by the same kind of men. On that ship, the captain can be voted out by morning. Every man aboard has an equal say and an equal share of everything taken. That second ship is a pirate ship. The men on it are criminals. Every government on earth wants them hanged. So here's the question. Why was the lawful ship the cruel one? The answer changes what the word lawless was ever supposed to mean. Before a pirate crew ever left harbor, they did something strange for outlaws. They wrote down the law. Not the king's law, their own. Every crew drafted a set of articles, a written constitution for the ship. Each man read them or heard them read aloud and signed, often swearing the oath on a Bible or on a pair of crossed pistols. The most complete set that survives belonged to Bartholomew Roberts. It was recorded in 1724 in a book called A General History of the Pyrates. Roberts took more than 400 ships. He may have been the most successful pirate who ever lived, and he ran his fleet on 11 written rules. The first article was about power. Every man had an equal vote in the affairs of the moment. Where to sail, who to attack, whether to fight or run, decided by a show of hands. On a navy ship, a sailor who questioned an order could hang. On this ship, questioning was the system. The rules went further than that. Lights out at 8. No gambling with cards or dice. Keep your weapons clean. Settle your quarrels on shore, never on deck. This was not chaos. It was a rule book. The second article was about money. Every man had equal claim to the food and the drink, and the plunder was split by a fixed formula. The captain took 2 shares, the quartermaster 2, the gunner and the boatswain 1.5, everyone else 1 share each. Read that ratio again. The most powerful man on the ship earned twice what the lowest man earned. Twice. Here is where the picture in your head gets in the way. We imagine pirates as pure chaos. Drunk, violent, every man for himself. That image is almost exactly backwards. The pirate ship was one of the most tightly regulated workplaces of its century. More democratic than any navy. More accountable than most governments on land. The disorder was never on the pirate ship, it was on the lawful one. A vote is easy to write down and easy to ignore, so the pirates built a second office to hold the captain in check, the quartermaster. Elected by the crew, not chosen by the captain, he divided the plunder, settled the disputes, and spoke for the men. The captain commanded in battle, the quartermaster ran everything else. 2 centers of power, each watching the other, a separation of powers, drawn up by criminals, decades before any republic tried it. The captain could be removed by the same hands that raised him. He ate the same food. He slept in a cabin any man could walk into. His authority lasted exactly as long as the crew allowed it. Then there's the part almost no one expects. The articles paid you if you were hurt. Lose a limb in Robert's service and you are owed 800 pieces of eight from the common stock. Lesser injuries paid in proportion. On John Philip's ship, a lost joint was worth 400 pieces of eight. A whole limb, 800. Under George Lowther, a lost limb paid 150 pounds sterling, and you kept your place in the crew for as long as you wanted it. The Buccaneers had done it even earlier. A right arm, 600 pieces of eight. An eye, 100. A finger, the same. A schedule of the human body, priced part by part. Workers' compensation. 200 years before any government wrote it into law. Now hold that ratio against your own life. The pirate captain earned twice the deckhand. A merchant captain of the same century could earn many times what his crew did. The average chief executive of a large American company earns 285 times the median worker. And half of those companies, the gap is more than 200 to 1. At some, it climbs past 1700 to 1. At one coffee company last year, it reached 6,600 to 1. Since 1978, executive pay has risen more than 1,000%. Worker pay over the same years rose 26. To earn what the average CEO makes in a single year, the typical worker would have had to start working in 1740. 1740. The same decade, a pirate crew was capping their captain at double a deckhand's share. And the rest of it? You do not vote on who leads. You can be let go without a reason. And if the work breaks your body, the rules are written by the company, not for you. And here's the part almost nobody quotes. The pirates knew exactly what they were doing. This was not an accident of disorganization. It was an argument. One captain, Samuel Bellamy, is said to have put it plainly. He called the merchants and the magistrates cowards, men who robbed the poor under the cover of the law, while he plundered the rich under the cover of his own courage. Those words come from that same 1724 book and may be polished in the telling. But the structure of the ship was not a story. The articles were real. The votes were real. The payouts were real. These were not gentle men. Many were killers. Roberts himself had worked the slave ships before he raided them. The fairness stopped hard at the edge of the crew. But inside that edge, they held something the lawful world refused to give: a vote, a fair share, a name on a written rule. The cruelty was never the thing that set them apart. It was just the only thing we chose to remember. Go back to the first ship, the sailor tied to the mast, the bare back, the captain holding the only law on the ocean. That was legal, all of it, signed and sealed by the crown. The men who fixed it had to become criminals to do it. They wrote their own law because the lawful one was unlivable. And for a few short years, on a few wooden ships, the fairest place a working man could stand was a deck full of outlaws. We called them lawless. They were the only ones who ever bothered to write him a fair law. And then we hanged them for it.